What's up, you guys? Welcome back and welcome if you're new. In today's video, we're going to be installing bynd4x4's tactical cap onto my Tacoma. Cool thing about today's video is we have Chris here, which is the owner of this, and he's going to be showing us just exactly how to install it. And then towards the end of the video, you guys will see the features on this thing. So if you guys are interested or in the market of this, make sure to stay tuned. If at the end of the video you guys do want to buy it, check out the description box below. Let's go ahead and now get into the video. All right, you guys, so right now we're gonna go ahead and kind of show you guys what comes in the box and what tools we're gonna need to install it. And then at the end of the video, we're gonna give you guys some features and just a little walk around on what this thing is. You guys are gonna love it, I can guarantee you that. So you wanna go ahead and walk us through what is needed to install this?
So there's actually not that many tools that you need. You really actually don't need a drill, but to speed things up, you can have a drill. You're gonna need a 10 millimeter, an 8 millimeter, and then I like having the ratcheting wrench. Just helps make things a little bit easier. You're also going to need a T30. This is going to be for when we install it actually onto the truck, but when we're building the cap, not on the truck, we'll just be using these tools here. Another item that you're going to need are pliers. This is just really helpful to compress down when we're putting the pieces together to hold it in place if you don't have like a second pair of hands. So I've found that the pliers have been really helpful. Other than that, those are all the tools.
That's pretty simple. And then let's go ahead and just kind of show them what comes inside the box, and then I guess we'll get started on the install.
So you're gonna be getting a bunch of keys. We make keys per lock, but all the keys for your cap are going to be the same. So you don't actually need to keep all the keys. You could hold on to one. You save all the other for if you ever lose your key. You're also going to be given some silicone caulking for any areas that you want to touch up if there are any water intrusions. We have all the bolts and the nuts that you're going to need to do the install. We have super glue. We use the super glue to put the weatherproof stripping up against the pieces of the cap. And then for the Tacoma 3rd gen, with the rail system, they all come with the rail system, but we'll be using these pieces here, and this is how you actually attach it to your cap. And the way that it would work is you would slide these pieces into the railing system, and these bolts would go through the cap, and then you would just screw it on. And so these are secured by 6 pieces. One in the front, middle, and in the back. So it's gonna be totally secure on the back of your truck.
Cool, I'm excited about that. And what about this big piece here?
So this is for the silicone caulking. So you just would throw it in there, and then you would caulk any areas that need touching up.
Cool, and that's one thing I wanted to let you guys know. That comes provided.
The cap that we're gonna be installing for you today, Jesse,
okay.
It's for a 5-foot 3rd gen Tacoma. And we're gonna be building the aluminum version. The aluminum version has a load capacity of 450 pounds and comes in at roughly 135 pounds. The major pieces of the build are 5 modular pieces. So you have these side panels, which you could get a tactical wing, which is with the molly panels on the outside and inside. Or your other option is a glass option. You have the 2 side walls. You have your piece that goes up against the cab, and then you have the back piece. And all of our caps will come standard with a 3rd brake light.
Okay, and then what I do like specifically here, it also has the window that's gonna be for inside the cab, right?
And what we do is we actually leave that one untinted so that you have more visibility, but then we do tint the back window so that it's not as easy to see into your truck.
Once again, you guys, right now we're just kind of showing you guys really quick as far as what tools you're gonna need to do the install with, and then what parts come inside. After we finish the installation, you're gonna wanna stay until the end because we're gonna open everything up and just kind of give you a little bit more in detail as far as what this kit comes with and the other one that you can purchase. So let's just go ahead and dive right into it and show you guys.
So yeah, for the steel one, we actually weld it onto there. But then for this one, it's not welded. We use nuts because this is the aluminum version. And so what I do here is we're gonna have to flip this over like this, and then your nuts or your bolts would fall down. So I put the tape there so that you don't have any issues. So for the Tacoma, when you're looking at the roof panel, the short side, so this is not a perfect rectangle. It's more of like a trapezoid type shape. So the front is gonna be the shorter side, and then the back is going to be the wider side. And that's how you determine which way the front or back is. So the next part that you want to be paying attention to is which way the front of the tactical gull wing is supposed to be facing. So when you're looking at it, you can see that this side has a little bit of a slant to it and it's a little bit shorter. So this is gonna actually be the back, and then this is gonna be the front touching the back of your cab. So it goes roof panel, gull wing, and then this is kind of like to help hold it in place before you put the nuts down. Once we get a few of them in here, your assistant can actually step away and it will hold itself up. So this is your weather stripping that you're gonna put up against your front and back panels. And so if we get a close-up here, you can see that there's a lip right here. And this side's gonna be the part that's on the outside of the cap. So that's what gets you that weatherproof seal. So you'd put the lip and you'd attach it to right here. And then this side would come on the outside, and you could see how it's lining up there. And then you would take this and then you would just go around the entirety of the panel. This is what the weatherproof seal will look like after you put it on the back panel. And one thing that I want to point out is you can see here, we're actually going to be blocking where the nuts and bolts are going to go. So the next step after you put this all the way on is you'll take the drill bit that we showed you at the beginning and you'd actually just re-drill the holes through the rubber. You're not drilling the cap itself, you're just drilling rubber. And this makes it so that the weatherproof seal is, you know, on there exactly how we want it. So this is what you're gonna use the super glue. It just makes sure that when you're doing the piecing together that your weatherproof seal doesn't move around, so that it's on there. And this super glue is super potent, so do your best not to get it anywhere else. So if you look here, you really want to make that hole, because if you don't make that hole and you have some like rubber pieces sticking out, when you put the bolt in later, it'll get in your way and it'll cause you issues. So you want to take your time on this part and really match the size of the hole that's on the cap to the size of the rubber hole that you're making.
JesseRizo is here for you. It's here for you now. Like I said, it's super simple. Please feel free to subscribe.
The back of the cap is gonna be the one with the brake light, and so we're gonna throw this onto the main portion of the cap now. And just as a reminder, the back of the cap is gonna be the side that it has more of an angle to it. The bottom side, which is gonna be the side touching your cab, that's more flat. So this has an angle. Throw it on, cool. And the next step is gonna be just putting in the bolts. So now we're gonna be talking about the bolts that you use to attach the back panel to the side panel. You're gonna be using the 8mm bolt. And one trick that I found useful in finding the holes, so what I'll do is I'll take my Allen wrench and I will first find the hole, and then I will move the cap to find where the hole on the back panel is, and then I'll take the bolt, push it through using the bolt so it could guide me to the hole. And then you have it coming right out the bottom. Another technique that I found with bolting this down, you can see here, because we don't have it all the way down, and we also don't want to tighten all of our bolts because that'll make it difficult for everything to line it up. So we'll actually leave the bolt on just barely on to where it won't fall off, but it allows us to kind of move it a little bit to get it to line up. So since it's not bolted, you can see there's a gap right here. So what I do at this point is I'll actually just clamp this down, and you can see here now the bolt is usable where I can now put the nut on. So this is the finished process of this portion where we attach the back panel to the side panels. We got the bolts in, they're still pretty loose. So now we're just gonna, drill them tight, and then we're on to the next step. So we just finished attaching the cab side. You repeat the steps that you did for the back side, for the cab side. Now that we've done that, we're gonna move on to the next part. You might run into an issue where you have your weather stripping kind of pinched here. So my technique that I do is I take like a bottle opener, something that's not sharp, but that is kind of just small and thin, and you could just throw it in there, and then you could just pull it out slowly. And then you just inch your way, more like centimeter your way through until you get that part out. And then you'll be good. It should line up just like this.
All right, so now we have it fully built. Right now we're gonna get ready to actually install it on the truck. Before we do that though, we have to put the seal that comes provided, which we're gonna show you guys the process right now. Once we finish up with that seal, I'm gonna go ahead and have Chris explain kind of what BYND stands for. So stay tuned for that if you guys were curious. All right, so now that the seal is kind of laid down, you're gonna notice the way we've kind of put it all the way around. One thing to know, of course, the way you want to put it on yours is going to depend on you, but this is the way that it is recommended. So as you can see there, and you just want to kind of follow the body line of the whole cab here, just to kind of make it look nice and tight. And that way, when you put it on the truck, it'll be very sealed.
So BYND actually stands for Beyond 4x4. The Beyond part is kind of the philosophy of going beyond like the screen, because like for me when I started, I was stuck behind my computer screen because we were all working remote, and I'd be stuck on Zoom calls. And then when I got my Tacoma, like people were like, oh, you don't even take it off-roading. So then I started going off-roading and I started camping, and I was getting away from, you know, screen time, and I was getting my kids out, and that's when like Beyond like made sense to me, and I was like, go beyond. So Beyond 4x4.
So for those of you guys that wondered what that stands for, there it is. You got it from the man himself.
We're finally gonna put it on top, and I could definitely use your help for this part, Jesse.
Okay.
It's really simple. So you have these pieces that go into your rail system.
Okay, so we're gonna have what, total of 6?
Total of 6, so 3 on each side.
Super simple. Just kidding.
Flip it, yeah.
Super simple.
No, flip it again.
Oh dang, just kidding here. Like this?
No.
Oh damn.
Like this. There we go.
Super simple.
Super simple.
All right, you guys, so you're gonna notice on this piece here, it does have like a little angle. This is going to go into your actual rail. So I'm gonna slide that right in. And like he was saying earlier, it's gonna be 3 per side. So we'll slide this in for now, and then we'll adjust where they need to be after. So I'll get those in, and then I'll finish up this opposite side. Just in case on your Tacoma you guys have end caps right here, all you really do is you push down on them. They're little plastic pieces. You push down and it releases them. I know on mine they're not there, but just so you guys know, on your Tacoma, if it's brand new, mine's ugly. So in this process here, you want to go ahead and get as much buddies as you can, just to kind of get it over. All right, so now that we have the cap kind of in its place where it's going to need to be, now we're going to go ahead and start screwing stuff down. So if you do remember, we installed the T-slots here all on the bed rail. So now what we need to do is go ahead and grab the screws provided. There should be a washer and total of 6 screws. So what we're going to be doing with these bad boys here is aligning them with the bed rail. The piece that we installed there, this screw initially is going to go into that. So if you see on the cap here, right at the top, there's going to be a hole here. So what you do is grab the screw, slide it right in through, and then you want to align it with that T-slot bracket that you just previously installed. Go ahead and tighten it down. What you want to do here is just do it by hand at first. Don't tighten it down all the way. So we're going to go ahead and repeat the process with the rest of the holes by installing the screws. One thing to take note though, if you do remember the end caps that we had taken off, you're not going to be able to reinstall those. So if you want to save them, go ahead. For me, I'm just going to throw them away. I never cared for them. That's up to you. So when you go ahead and kind of start the process here and tighten them down by hand, after that, we'll tighten them down all the way. Yeah. All right, so now that we installed all 6 screws, now you want to go ahead and get a size 6 Allen key, and you want to go ahead and tighten all those down. I'm going to go ahead and tighten them down to spec, and then we'll get back to you guys. So for those of you guys wondering on the third brake light, for the wiring, we're going to be doing a separate video on this, so make sure to stay tuned. But all you have to do literally is just tap into your third brake light. So if you have some wiring knowledge, go ahead and just do that, get some extra wire and tap into that. But if not, stay tuned for the video. I'll be honest, I'm not sure exactly when I'm going to have time to do it, but we'll be doing this in the future, and I'll make an in-depth video on that.
So here we have the aluminum tactical cap for the 3rd gen Tacoma. If we come to the back here, You'll see that the third brake light, it comes standard with all of the caps that we sell. We also have standard on here the roof rails, which provide a dynamic load capacity of 450 pounds. And as we come to the side here, you have two options. You could go with the tactical gull wing, or you could go with the glass window, which has a glass slider. Here we have the tactical design here, which you can actually attach components to, just as you would with a MOLLE panel. You could either use washers, which you could get at your everyday hardware store, or you can use T-nuts and slide it in there and use those as well. Also standard, each lock comes with a key. The way that it works is you would just press these buttons here with these like ridges. You could just press it like that, like that.
Hey, this works well.
We also have standard with the tactical gull wing MOLLE panels on the inside.
I'll do the outro. I think you do the outro. No, I'm just messing with you. All right, you guys, so now we finished up with the installation. I hope you guys really enjoyed kind of the process of this and how to do it for your own vehicle. And then of course, we showed you guys what this thing can do. So anything you want to leave these people off with?
We don't just do Tacomas. So we can do ZR2s, but we're on Jesse's page. You know what, scratch that. We just do Tacomas. Go Tacomas.
They do everything else, not only Tacomas. That's fine.
Gladiators, F-150s, yeah. Rams, the whole 9 yards. And if you don't see it on the website, shoot me a DM and I could take care of you.
And if, of course, you can't get a hold of them, just let me know and I'll make sure to hit them for you. No, I'm just kidding. But I'll make sure to let them know as well. So whether you have any type of vehicle, even if it's not a Tacoma, go ahead and get yours. I can guarantee you guys, once you install it and you guys look at it, you're going to really love it. I know me and my buddy Jason that's behind the camera, we fell in love right when we saw it on the truck. So this thing's staying for life. If you guys did enjoy today's video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys.
JesseRizo is here for you. It's here for you now. Like I said, it's super simple. Please feel free to subscribe.